You want to talk about VHS tapes? Let me show you something.
Just can't throw them away. So many memories.
VHS is a new found footage style horror movie, and I bet you that right there, I have lost you entirely. I've lost it. You're gone. You have no interest in this movie. And you know what? I don't blame you, because I felt the same way. My friends were telling me about this movie and they were saying, you know what, Chris, it looks dumb. I know it's another found footage movie. Chernobyl Diaries was just terrible. Some of these people I knew who saw it, they were like, this movie is actually scary. It's actually well done. And my reaction to everyone saying this kind of stuff was basically always the same. It's basically Tom Hardy from Lawless, if you've seen the movie yet. I just had no interest at all because I am done with found footage horror movies that are stupid, and I am just done. But you guys know me, I try to watch everything, and I try to do it for you guys at the same time. And to my surprise, this is the scariest movie I have seen all year by far. This movie disturbed me, it bothered me, and last night when I went to bed, I was looking in my closet. I'm not kidding. I was looking in my closet and I kind of moved the door to the side so it wasn't all open for me to see as I laid there in bed. That's how much this movie got under my skin. The movie is essentially 5 short films all rolled into one. It starts out with these guys, they're searching this house, they're looking for a very specific tape. As they're searching for the specific tape, they put them into the VCR and watch them to see which one is the one that they are apparently looking for. Then we see what they're watching. And what we get is the strangest tape collection that some old creepy guy who lives alone could possibly own. And naturally, when you have a film that is basically a collection of short stories, some will be better than others. 2 in particular stand out greatly. The first and the last. The first one is this party that these guys are having, and there's a very creepy girl there who keeps watching them. That's all I'm gonna say. The second one is a second honeymoon that a couple's going on. They're like in the mountains or whatever, and they're hiking, and another strange girl is watching them. Now this second one, that was the one that I felt was the weakest. Then we get this college trip where these guys are going to this lake and there's these 2 hot chicks there, of course, that must disrobe. Horror tropes, cliches abound during this one, trust me. And then there's this strange like virtual digital killer that's like infecting their camera or something. It's pretty creepy. The fourth one is this Skype conversation between the girl and a guy, and she thinks that her apartment is haunted in some way because she keeps hearing things, and we get to see them have this conversation while they try to search the apartment to figure out what this is. The last one is a Halloween party in which the people who are going to a party choose the wrong house and they find some incredibly creepy stuff in there. Now all the while there's another story going on in the house where the guys who are actually watching these VHS tapes are. And there's something in that house that is scary as well. And as these guys take out the tapes, you can look like in the room where they last were, stuff has changed and moved since the last time they put in the last tape, and you're like, that wasn't there before. That used to be there. Why isn't it there now? Where is it? 2 things happened to me during this movie, and I'm incredibly ashamed to admit them, but I will to you guys because you guys are awesome, and I'm going to tell you what I did. Number 1, I actually looked away. I looked away at a part of this movie. I have never done that ever during a scary movie. The sad thing is nothing actually happened. I was just anticipating something about to happen. I felt like such a little girl. It was so annoying. I've never done that before. And number 2, this is the big one, alright? Now this, I can't, I'm so afraid to admit that I did this, but it's true. I watch horror movies all the time. I am well versed in horror movies. I've seen a ton of found footage movies. Most of them are not good. Some of them are. If it's not used as a gimmick, it works as a plus. This movie, it worked as a plus. And during the Skype conversation short film, I won't say what happened, but there was a part in the movie where this happened to me. Well, I'm gonna go kill myself. I gasped and brought my hands to my mouth like a little girl. Good job, VHS, you scared me. Now yes, this movie is scary and suspenseful and freaky and terrifying at times, but there is something about it that just is off, and I'll tell you what it is. The movie does not make sense, and it's not meant to, but that will really irritate some viewers. Like, if you watch this movie and you hate it, I'll completely understand. Like, I would totally understand if you hated this movie. It's not the kind of movie that you watch and you make sense of it. There are so many things that happen and you just kind of have to buy it. The found footage style of it makes it seem so realistic to the point where it's just like, okay, I guess some things just aren't explained. And you know what? That's what scares me the most. The stuff that isn't explained, that's left open to interpretation in horror movies where you're like, what in the world was, like, what? It's like that line in Batman Begins, and you always fear what you don't understand. It's exactly like that. It's so weird at times and so difficult to figure out actually what happened in some of these short stories that it starts to be even more disturbing. And that's what happened to me. I can understand someone who wants more explanations being like, ugh. For me though, I enjoyed this movie. It has a lot of the horror tropes and cliches though. Random women must disrobe at all times. And one thing that did bother me is the whole film is trying to portray this very realistic tone, but at certain times where they needed a jump scare, they did insert music in the movie, and I noticed that, and I was like, that doesn't seem to fit with the tone that you were creating before of this very realistic no music thing. I honestly don't know if I can watch that first one with that girl again without kind of like going like that. Like, I don't know, man. It got under my skin and it chilled me, man. It chilled me to the bone. I'm gonna give VHS a B+. It's the best horror movie I've seen so far this year in regards to scaring me. Cabin in the Woods is still the best horror movie I've seen this year. So did you see the movie? Did you hate it? Did you love it? I understand if you hate it. It's perfectly fine, honestly. But I bet you at least one part of it kind of got under your skin a little bit. Thanks for watching, guys. And as always, if you like this review, then you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.